Hi, Miss Mackenzie. I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's great to see you again.
It's good to see you again.
How's your week been?
My week has just been fantastic. I just got a pet duck the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Little baby duck.
Awesome. What's his name?
Samuel L. Quaxon.
Oh, so it is a boy. Excellent.
Yeah. Yep.
I've never heard of someone having a duck.
Well, it is legal. I looked into it. It's legal.
What do you guys do together?
I take him for walks. I lay with him on the couch. He likes movies. Feed him breadcrumbs.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Have you made any changes with your diet in the last week?
Not really. No, it's kind of been the same old. My girlfriend, she usually cooks all my meals, so she's kind of been doing the same thing. She does my shopping and stuff. So, but with the information that I came to you today for, I might have to change some of my eating habits.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, what I did, last time, if you recall, you put all of your food into a 24-hour recall.
Yep.
Okay, well, I took all that information and I put it into a website called Super Tracker. It's through the USDA.
It sounds fancy.
It is. And it gives you a profile of all your different foods and your nutrient intake and things like that. Another thing that you could do, because you could do this on your own, you have access to this website at home, but it's almost the same as using something called MyFitnessPal. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, my girlfriend uses that app.
Oh, awesome. Well, then you have someone to help you right at home. Well, that's where you put in all your foods again, and it tells you how you're doing in terms of calories and things like that.
It seems kind of time-consuming, though.
Yeah, it can be, but it's really helpful when you're first starting to change your lifestyle. So what we found on this, we'll cut to the chase, is that you were a little high in calories. They have you eating a 2,000 calorie diet, and I think with your size, you could do more like a 2,300 to 2,500.
Yeah, I don't think 2,000 calories would fill me up.
No. So the 29, though, is still a little high. We're not going to be going towards that 3,000 number. And another thing we can see is how high you are in grains. So I
thought grains were good for you.
They are, as long as you're having whole grains, but you have to eat a balanced meal. So you see that the grains are off the charts, but your vegetables are super, super low at only 20%.
Yes, they are.
Do you like vegetables?
Not really. They don't taste as good as other foods do.
Yeah.
So I kind of avoid eating them.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll talk about it. You're also, though, you're doing pretty good in your whole fruit, which means like all the fruits you're having that aren't juice or like concentrated and things like that. So your fruit is good. I noticed you have an apple and strawberries.
I have an apple a day. It keeps the doctor away.
That's a great motive.
Yep.
And then you're a little low in your milk and yogurt. Do you like dairy?
I do. I usually drink a lot of milk and dairy, so I'm actually surprised to see that it's that low.
Okay, and what kind of milk do you drink?
Skim milk.
Skim, perfect. You should be keeping that low-fat dairy high. And then the only one that you did completely perfect on was your protein. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, no big deal.
Yeah, exactly. So as we flip to the next page, we could see the nutrients that we are both high and low in. We already talked about calories, so you know you're a little high in that. Added sugar, I think we can attribute that to your dessert cravings.
Yeah, I have a sweet tooth, so that would explain the sugar.
Yeah, and you had ice cream, cookies, and banana bread all in one day. Chocolate chip banana bread nonetheless.
True.
So that's where your added sugars are come from, but not horrible, over by about 20 grams. And
that's doable.
Your cholesterol is a little high, which can also be attributed to these two things. And your sodium is also relatively high. So do you know what you're eating that contains a lot of sodium? Could you pick that out?
Processed foods and the white bread, probably. The refined carbs.
Exactly, and the pretzels and the salty snacks.
Pretzels.
Yeah.
Snacks.
Even milk has sodium in it. So when you're trying to get less than 230 milligrams, it's pretty easy to overpass it with foods you're not even thinking about.
2,300, you mean?
Yeah, 2,300, sorry.
Gotcha.
So the calcium and the potassium, you're under on that, but you're also under on the vitamin A, C, D, and E. And all of those, like most vitamins, can be found in fruits and vegetables. So we know that that's where our problem lies, is in the lack of vegetables, which we talked about on the previous page. So increasing these numbers will come pretty easy, I think, once you started to introduce a few more fresh foods into your diet.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
Great. Do you have any questions about this packet at all? About your food profile?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. And another thing I noticed about it was your lack of fiber. And fiber is what is going to keep you really full, and it's found in most fruits and vegetables, but especially ones like apples and broccoli and spinach, things like that. So you really want to up that fiber so that you feel fuller longer.
Would you recommend those fiber supplemented snacks, or do you think the vegetables is enough?
I always suggest eating the vegetables over the supplemented snacks because a whole food is always going to be better than something that's processed because, as we talked about, you have added sugars and added sodium that you don't need in your diet.
I had a fiber granola bar once, and I couldn't stop farting. I'll tell you what.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll stay away from those then, because that could cause an uncomfortable social situation.
Yeah, you know what? I just blamed it on Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh.
I said the duck was just quacking.
Well, that's a good way to get away with it. But
yeah, she didn't even know, the old lady. No idea.
You can't blame Samuel L. Jackson forever. So let's stick to eating our real fibers. And another thing,
all jokes aside,
another thing it's in the whole grains. You could get it in a really hearty whole grain bread or inside of things like oatmeal.
You know what? I like the whole grain bread better than the white bread,
really?
But it's just more expensive, so I normally don't buy it. I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
That's true. That is more expensive, but in some cases it's going to be more worth to spend the extra couple dollars.
Okay.
I know that's hard to hear in college.
Yeah, I'm frugal.
Okay.
I'm broke.
Well, this is yours to keep, so we'll keep I have a running total of them on my files, so I'll keep them, and then once we've made it a few months in, we'll be able to see how much progress you've made.
Perfect.
Okay. So the next thing I want to know is since we've gone through this now, have you thought about any changes that you could possibly make?
Definitely substituting my sugary and salty snacks for maybe fruits or vegetables.
Great. I'm just taking a few notes just so I remember next time.
Okay. Definitely try to eat more servings of vegetables with my meals and maybe less dessert or sweet food.
Great. So less sweet food.
Yeah. And then, I think on a typical basis I can get enough dairy because I like milk and yogurt and all that stuff. But definitely just the vegetables, a little more vegetables, less refined carbs.
Good. Great. Okay, so what we're going to do then to help you out with this new idea is to set a SMART goal. A SMART goal stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So we want to make sure your goal hits all of those marks and that you'll be able to attain it and don't have to come back in 2 weeks and say it was impossible. We need to set a smaller goal.
Yeah, that's why I heard those crash diets, they don't work.
True.
Because they're not attainable.
Exactly. Too hard to attain in such a short period of time.
Yep. Okay,
so let's make a goal about vegetables, because that seems to be the thing you're the most drawn to.
Yep.
How many vegetables, so a serving, if we're talking about servings here, it's about the size of your fist.
Okay.
So if you have this big of a serving of broccoli or spinach or beans, anything like that. So how many fistfuls do you think you could have in a day?
I'm thinking probably like 3.
Okay.
How many is a typical? What are you supposed to have?
You usually go for 3 to 5, so 3 is a good place to start.
Okay, because I probably only have like 1, maybe 2 right now.
Great.
So I think 3 would be a good goal.
Yes, 3 would be great. So let's say 3 servings of vegetables every day of the week, or do you think less than that?
Maybe like 5 or 6 days a week.
Okay.
That way I can give myself kind of a cheat day that in case I can't do it, I won't feel bad.
Yeah.
In case I don't get all 3.
Great. So let's write this down.
So under goals.
Under goals. So you want to have 3 vegetables, 3 servings of veggies a day, 5 to 6 times a week.
Okay.
Okay. And is there anything else that you want to do in terms of sugar? Since you'll be adding in these extra vegetables.
Right, okay. I think instead of having cookies and ice cream and stuff like that for dessert, I can do like maybe a couple pieces of fruit or some sugar-free Jello or something like that.
Yeah, or even just something like dark chocolate chips. So you're still having dessert, but it's a little less sugar-filled.
Okay.
So let's replace your one dessert a day with a healthier dessert. And we'll list a few examples, like you said, the fruit, some gel or pudding, or dark chocolate chips.
Okay.
Okay, great. So now that we've set a goal, let's talk about the pros and the cons and maybe some of the barriers that you might hit when you're trying to change. So what are some pros of eating more vegetables and less sugar?
So obviously I want to get these numbers up to where they're supposed to be. My vitamins, so get more vitamins and fiber and stuff like that. And then obviously less sugar and less grains, the refined carbs, so less of that.
Yeah, so you'll see your numbers
And
will
then
be satisfying.
The numbers will be
that.
better, and I think that the calories will go down as well.
Mm-hmm. What else is a pro?
So I believe I will feel better.
Yeah, definitely.
And after a long enough time, I'll probably look better.
Yeah.
And just have more energy and a better mood.
Yeah, that's awesome. But it is very satisfying to see your numbers change over time, so that can be a huge motivating factor. What are a few of the cons or things that you think are going to get in your way when you're trying to change?
It'll take a little bit getting used to. I think as far as like recipes go for like dinner and like lunch ideas to incorporate those vegetables, it'll be I'll have to get used to that and come up with some new ideas. Going to the grocery store, so kind of finding the items that I'm normally not buying, so find out where they are. And I know typically they cost more, so that'll be a challenge as well.
Yeah, definitely. So just getting used to it with recipes and stuff. You said that your girlfriend does most of the cooking and shopping.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think it might be beneficial to have her here with us
Yeah,
to talk
definitely.
about some of the meals? Okay, so for your next meeting, we're going to make it a goal to bring your girlfriend with so that we can get her on board with this.
That sounds like a good idea.
Awesome. Okay, and are there any other hurdles that you think you'll have to kind of jump over when you're trying to make this lifestyle change, when it's not yet just part of you, when you're still trying to stick to it?
Yeah, I think it'll be hard in like social situations or say family parties or celebrations where a lot of time the festivities revolve around food and usually not healthy food, so like cake and pizza and stuff like that. So I think that'll be kind of a challenge.
Yeah, let's think of some strategies. That's a good one to go off of. So in this box on your worksheet, some strategies for some strategies for overcoming those hurdles at the family parties. What do you think you could do to kind of avoid the eating badly or eating too much?
Yeah, so I think you can always eat before you get to the party, right? So you're not hungry and you don't feel obligated to eat the pizza or the cake or whatever's there, because you're already full. Or, if you're close with everybody at the party, you can convince them to order something healthier than like pizza or having cake. Maybe have like sandwiches or like fruit salad or something instead.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And you could also set little goals for yourself before you go to the party. Like if you know there's salad and fried chicken, you could tell yourself, I'm only going to have salad, no fried chicken, but I'm also only going to have one slice of cake.
Yeah, so set limits for myself.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to write some of that down. Those strategies.
Awesome. And you also know that you can go home and eat after the party. So if your healthier options are at home, you don't have to limit yourself as much there.
That's a good idea too.
Awesome.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, so do you have any feelings about this? Do you think you're going to be able to succeed, or is it going to be
I think I'll be able to do it. This is definitely sounds doable as I look at it right now. So I'm excited about it.
Awesome. Okay, well, a few things we'll talk about before we wrap up are some reference tools. So I told you earlier about how I use Super Tracker through the USDA. So that's a good one to write down that you could always use to keep track of.
So anybody could use that one?
Yes.
Okay.
And same with things like MyFitnessPal, which is an app, and you said that your girlfriend uses it. And
Yeah, MyFitnessPal.
She would probably be really excited to teach you how to use that.
And that's super convenient too, because it's right on my phone. It's always in my pocket, no matter what.
Exactly. And I noticed you've got a smartwatch. Do you use the step counter on there?
I do. I hardly reach my goal though.
Does that help motivate you a little bit, at least? To get back up?
Yeah, because it buzzes when it wants me to get moving.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm not moving, it says, or when I am moving, it says good job. So it's encouraging.
Yeah, so that's a good way. That's a good cue to get yourself moving and to maybe listen to that a little more than it seems like you are right now.
Usually I'll just when it buzzes, I'll just take Samuel L. Jackson for a walk.
Yeah, great. So that could be another goal, but we'll worry about that next time to set more than
to walk
two
more and
goals
stuff.
to
Okay.
hit your step goal a little more often.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about your goal one more time. Just repeat it back to me so that I know we're on the same page.
So my goal is to eat 3 servings of vegetables a day, and to do that 5 or 6 times a week.
Okay.
Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to do was to replace my dessert habit with healthier and smaller portions, rather than like ice cream or cake or cookies, to have like a handful of dark chocolate chips or some sugar-free Jell-O or some nuts or something like that.
Exactly. Well, that's a really good goal, and I really do hope you achieve it. So we're going to follow up with this in 2 weeks from now, and I think it would be great if you could bring your girlfriend. So under here, we'll set our appointment for the 17th, and what time is good for you?
Sometime in the morning, because later Samuel L. Jackson has a vet appointment at 3 o'clock. So
Okay.
are you here in the morning?
Yes, 9 o'clock. Is that good for you?
9 o'clock is good. I'll have to set my alarm extra early because that's super early, but I can be here.
Well, that's great. So we'll have you bring your girlfriend, and if possible, bring on the night before, so on May 16th.
Samuel L. Jackson? No?
Don't bring your duck here.
I thought that's what you're getting at. What do you want me to bring?
On the night of May 16th, would you mind doing another 24-hour food recall?
Yep, 24-hour recall.
Perfect.
And then you want me to give that to you when I come?
Yes.
Okay.
Just for me to go over one more time.
Okay.
And I'll put it back into here, and we'll see how your numbers have improved.
Hopefully they do improve. Otherwise, that'll be super embarrassing.
Well, I hope they do too. Thanks for coming today, Jeff.
Well, thank you for taking the time out of your day to help me be healthier.
Awesome.